everyone and welcome back to the Carcode YouTube channel. If you like new car reviews, please do make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. Today, as you can see, just ignore this situation going on here. I have sprained my elbow, hence I'm not doing a physical review, but nevertheless it's quite an exciting video because I'm going to be talking about the top 20 cars coming soon. If that sounds interesting, please do make sure you keep watching. I've put all the timestamps for all the cars along the bottom, so if you're only interested in a certain car maybe you've seen in the thumbnail, you can skip right ahead to which car you want to see. With that, let's get straight into the video. Let's start at number 20, and that is the Peugeot 208 facelift. Now, this generation of 208 arrived in late 2019 and we've seen it on the roads for a few years now. In my opinion, it still looks like one of the freshest, cleanest, most exciting super minis out there. It's available with petrol engines that can have automatic or manual, and you've also got the E208. E208 now has got the 51 kilowatt hour battery which arrived last year in 2022. That means that you've got a WLTP range combined of up to 248 miles, which for a small car like the 208 is absolutely excellent and near enough class leading, so that's very exciting. Design wise, it stays pretty similar. You've got different fangs at the front which are inspired by the 9X8 Peugeot hypercar, which is quite exciting. We do also have two new colours. We've got the launch colour, which is the Aguada yellow, and we do also have selenium grey metallic, which will be very popular. Updated technology and overall just a really nice facelift. On to number 19 now, which is another facelift, and this is the Volkswagen T-Cross facelift. The T-Cross came out in early 2019 and since then we've had a T-Roc update. We've also had a brand new Tiggo, and that brought a lot of things that the T-Cross was lacking, such as the full light bar at the back, more premium materials inside, and a few other extra features. The T-Cross is updated its interior quality. It's got more of a T-Roc like layout and style, and it's got a bit more of a premium feel to it. The launch colour is called grape yellow, and I think it's absolutely stunning. A really nice vibrant colour. It's really nice to see the fun coming back into cars. As Volkswagen say, they want to make Volkswagen a love brand again. So this is very exciting to see. There's also another colour called clear blue, which we haven't actually seen photos of yet, but from its name I'm imagining it's sort of a sky blue colour. So very exciting. The fun is coming back to cars, definitely. As far as I know, the powertrains are going to be the same 1 litre TSI units as well as the 1.5 litre TSI unit. I wouldn't be surprised if that leaves, but from what people are saying, it sounds like that will stay with the DSG gearbox. Going to number 18, we've got the Honda ZR-V. This may look a little bit familiar. You may think this looks like the Honda HR-V in some markets, and that's because in other markets such as North America, this is called the Honda HR-V. Our HR-V in the UK market is a small hybrid SUV. Click in the pop-up banner to watch my review. The ZR-V fits perfectly between the HR-V and the CR-V SUV. In Europe here, it's a self-charging 2 litre hybrid. The powertrain is taken straight from the 11th generation Honda Civic. This means it's got an ECVT transmission, although it's a little bit different on this ZR-V than it is on our HR-V and the Jazz. Those cars, when you rev them, the gearbox can cause the engine to rev quite high when you try and pick up some speed, so they can kind of go and they sort of sound like they're struggling a bit. With this ZR-V, it's got simulated gear changes, so it'll feel a lot more like a DSG or torque converter traditional gearbox to drive. So instead of going when you put your foot down, it'll go so a much more modern and smooth ride. Of course, in town it will go into EV mode where it can and drive around in fully electric with no need to plug in. The ZR-V starts from just under £40,000. Of course, you're getting this award-winning eHEV powertrain and looks really good. 3 trim models are available. You've got Elegance, Sport, which adds some black wheels and a bit sporty design, and then the top of the range Advance, which gives you a panoramic sunroof and full Bose sound system. So pretty exciting. It's a little bit disappointed that we don't get the green colour that they do get in the USA. 17 is the BMW 5 Series and the BMW i5. These are very recently launched and they stick to a bit more of a plain design, I guess you could say, more traditional BMW, which is going to go down well with a lot of people, especially a lot of business people. I actually really love the new BMW designs. Apart from the iX, I like the new models, but they've still gone a little bit different with the new 5 Series and i5. The 5 Series starts from £51,000, so it's not cheap at all. The i5 starts from just over £74,000, so not a cheap car at all. You can get diesel and petrol variants available. On the normal 5 Series, the trim models starts from M Sport. BMW noticed a lot of people were going for the M Sport trim, so that's the base model now, which is a great choice. That's why it is a little bit more expensive than it used to be, but it comes with a full Harman Kardon sound system, for example, as standard. So it's got a lot of kit on it. We'll also see a station wagon or an estate vehicle come later on in the year in autumn. Down to 16, we have the Cupra Leon facelift. Last year we saw previews of the whole Cupra line be facelifted, even the Cupra Born, which is very new to the scene. This is basically separating themselves from Seat, as essentially the Cupra Leon at the moment is a rebadged Seat Leon, and you can really tell that it's just a little bit different. This facelift changing a few things which the Golf facelift will change. That is coming later in the video, so stick around for that. So we're going to have a little bit of infotainment upgrades just to make it a little bit user friendly. There will also likely be a bump up in power on the top 300 horsepower models. They're likely to go to 310 or 315 to 320 PS. Probably 320 PS you're looking at, like what Audi use now. They've got that new face now and I think it looks absolutely excellent. It's copying what's going to be coming from Cupra in the future with the Tavascan next year and also the Terramar next year as well. The whole Cupra line will be following this design language, so the Formentor will be shortly coming after as well, and everything's going to be nice facelifted in 2024 and 2025. The whole range will have this look. Also, the plug-in hybrid 1.4 model is likely going to be changed to a 1.5 TSI plug-in hybrid. The same is going to be happening across the Volkswagen range. 15, we've got the Mercedes CLE, and this has just come out as well, so it is here but it's not on the roads just yet. The Mercedes CLE, you may think that sounds like a new name. GLE? GLE is an SUV. C-Class? The CLE is essentially the new C-Class coupe, and we didn't think we were going to get one of these, but we have it now, so that is very exciting. Base engine is the 2-litre diesel.
Well, as a mild hybrid, and will come as a plug-in hybrid too.
You can also have a more powerful, over 260 brake horsepower, which has all-wheel drive, which is excellent. The top 3-litre petrol pumps out 381 PS or around 378 brake horsepower, so that's going to be pretty quick 0 to 60, and it's also all-wheel drive, so that's a true performance car right there. We're also going to see a convertible version of the CLE come out next year, and all cars are 9-speed automatic gearboxes. On to 14, we've got the Ford Explorer EV. Now, you're wondering, don't Ford already have the Mach-E? Well, they do. This is a slightly smaller EV, and guess whose platform it's actually made on? It's made on the Volkswagen MEB platform. So what the ID4 is based on, the ID3, Audi Q4 E-Tron, and many more models, the new Ford Explorer is built on this. Now you may think, but they're not the same brand. Basically, Ford and Volkswagen have partnerships that go way back when to when they were making the Ford Galaxy and the Volkswagen Chiron. I'm sure they have connections even further back. Ford, as we know, are excellent at creating trucks and vans, hence they have helped with the new Volkswagen Amarok, which is essentially a Ford Ranger underneath the skin. If you want to click in the pop-out banner, you can watch my Ford Ranger review there. But Volkswagen is very established in the electric market, so why not use the Volkswagen platform? And that is what Ford have gone and done. You can actually pre-order your Ford Explorer now. The full specs and everything hasn't been released just yet. It's also going to have Ford's sync system inside on a portrait orientation screen, which you can actually tilt on the Explorer, which is really cool. I really like it. It's also likely going to be much easier to use than Volkswagen's current systems. I personally prefer Ford's sync system currently, We're going to see Volkswagen improve their system hopefully, but the Ford system is really good. You've got the climate controls that are at the bottom that stay there. Very easy to use system. Basically, they're using all the good bits of Volkswagen and all the good bits of Ford and putting it into one car. So I'm very excited to be reviewing that next year. It'll be really interesting to see another brand out of Volkswagen using and utilising the MEB platform. Talking about Volkswagen, number 13 is the Volkswagen Golf 8.5 or Volkswagen Golf 8 facelift. The Volkswagen Golf 8 was launched in 2019 and it's sort of mixed reviews on people weren't really sure how to feel about it. I've got a Golf 7.5, so you could say I'm a little bit biased. Basically, the infotainment screen isn't the best on the Mark 8. There's a few little different things that people aren't happy about on that car. So on the 8.5, physical buttons are coming back to the steering wheel, we're told. In these spy shots, we see the 15-inch screen out of the new ID7 and Passat. In the Golf, it seems a little large, so hopefully that's not going to be standard on all cars. We're going to see a few changes. We can already see it's got new headlamps and new tail lamps. We're going to have backlit climate controls, which is excellent. It's going to be much easier to use. And like on the Cupra Leon, we're going to have those little tweaks mechanically as well. So that'll be very exciting to see. Of course, people are thinking the Golf is dying now, but no, it's not dying right now. It's going to have its 2024 model, and that's going to go all the way till 2028. Don't worry, the Golf's not gone just yet. Number 12 on the list is the new Mini Countryman. Now you may be confused because you've seen other little mock-ups and concepts from Mini, and there's actually a smaller electric SUV that's going to be coming out next year as well, called the Mini Aceman. Not the Paceman, the Aceman. So the Mini Countryman has got bigger again, which I'm not sure everyone's going to be loving the idea of. The underpinnings are of the new X1 and iX1. That means this Mini Countryman's almost 16 centimeters longer than it was previously. It's also got a few more BMW design elements like the door handles, more angular door mirrors, and just overall a more angular modern shape. But of course, it's still got its Mini charm to it. I really like the way that they're going with the direction. Personally, I was never a huge BMW fan, but with what they're doing, I mean, maybe being slightly controversial, I'm really gelling with it. So well done BMW, well done Mini. I'm quite excited to see this one be produced. More on Mini in a little bit in the video. This will be a petrol and diesel model, but also a fully electric car. So very excited to see that. And also it's quite interesting BMW's approach of making their petrol and diesel models the same platform. Doesn't work for everyone, but seems to be working for them. And number 11, we're going to go back to BMW, and that is going to be the BMW 1 Series. We all know in 2019 the BMW introduced a new model, and it was highly controversial with it being front wheel drive. That sent a lot of people crazy. It was also a bit more of a chunkier design, and that meant it offered more interior space, more safety, etc. Of course, it being front wheel drive, the proportions were completely different on this BMW. But I think it looks really good and I really liked it. Just more modern, cheaper to produce. We're going to be seeing a facelift being launched next year, and it's going to go into production. We've actually been told it's going into production in July 2024. So we're likely not going to see it till the end of 2024 or even the start of 2025. And that's going to be produced all the way till 2030 apparently, which is quite a long production run. So hopefully it's going to look pretty good. We're just going to see some little tweaks. There's also been a performance one that's been spotted on the Nürburgring doing some testing, and possibility rumours of a 140i coming back, which people are very excited about. Also, apparently they're dropping the eyes off, which may mean they're getting rid of diesel. So instead of 118i and 118d, they're just going to have 118 and it'll just be a petrol model. I don't know yet if they're going to be keeping manual gearboxes. I hope so, but part of me is thinking they're not going to. On to number 10. Number 10 is another small electric SUV, and this one is from Honda, and it's the Honda ENY1. Now, it may look very familiar to you, and that's because it's actually based on the Honda HR-V. Now, we can expect this ENY1 to cost for around £45,000. It's not going to be cheap at all. It's going to have a 15-inch centre touchscreen with 3 different sections, one for your navigation, one for your radio and media, and another one for your climate control. So it's going to be pretty user-friendly as well. Also going to have a sunroof, which the HR-V doesn't currently have. A claimed range of 256 miles on the ENY1. And from one electric SUV to another electric SUV, number 9 is the Fiat 600. I love the fact they've called it the Fiat 600 and not a 500LX ABCDEFG, because it just suits the car a lot better. You've got loads of different colours. Fiat actually want to get rid of grey cars, which I'm all here for, to be honest. But they do have a colour of the 600 which is very similar to grey. So they might want to sort that one out. But to be honest, beautiful colours. We're going to see it's going to start around £36,000. It is obviously still a lot of money, but similarly priced to like an ID3, something like that. The La Prima, or like the launch version, is expected to cost around £41,000. So that's going to have literally everything fully backed on it. Now on number 8, and we got another Stellantis vehicle here actually as well. This vehicle we don't have a massive amount of info on. It's the Vauxhall Insignia. Of course, with Stellantis, it's on Peugeot, Citroën, etc. architecture. If you're thinking who is like the main sort of head with Stellantis, I'd definitely say it's Peugeot. So they are like the brains behind Stellantis. But of course, all the brands need to be together to make the brand Stellantis. So the Insignia is going to be a coupe SUV, much like the Peugeot 408 and Citroën C5X. It's going to be based on the same platform, but it could be a fully electric vehicle. Originally, we were going to see this launch next year and be out next year, but there is now talks that it could be 2025 that we see this, or even 2026. Around that time, Vauxhall want to be a fully electric brand, which I don't believe the rest of Stellantis have all committed to. So then, from one coupe SUV to another coupe SUV, we move on to number 7, which is the Renault Rafale. And no, it's not the bounty of the Ferrero world, that is a Raffaello, the ones that are left at the bottom. No, I think it's a bit more attractive than one of those. Although it does look very like the Peugeot 408, especially when I first saw it a couple of weeks ago, I was like, wow. When you look a little bit more carefully and look at the design elements, you can tell it's got its own character. It's a little bit higher up. It's a little bit more like what we're going to see of the Peugeot 3008, and that's going to have a coupe SUV look when that gets updated very shortly. But the name actually comes from 1934 Renault airplane, the Renault Rafale. And if you look closely, you can actually see quite a lot of aviation design elements inside and outside of the car, which is quite interesting. They're all hybrid models. You've got a self-charging hybrid with 200 horsepower. You've also got a plug-in hybrid model, which is 4-wheel drive and offers 300 brake horsepower. So pretty quick. On the more high-end model, you get a Harman Kardon sound system like what BMW is using. This actually makes a lot of sense. Maybe I'm reading too deep into this. Samsung owns Harman Kardon, and in South Korea, Renault make cars under the license of Samsung. So there's literally Samsung cars in South Korea with the Renault Samsung alliance. Next car is the Nissan Micra EV. We expect this to be launched very shortly, possibly this year. The Nissan Micra EV will be based on the Renault 5 electric platform, further down in the list. To keep the costs at a low, they've used the same seats as the current Renault Clio, as well as the suspension and a few other bits and pieces. But it's going to be pretty exciting. Hopefully it's going to have up to 250 miles apparently of range, and apparently it's going to cost under £25,000, even near the 22k mark we've been told. I'll believe it when I see it. And that brings us on to number 5, which is quite coincidentally the Renault 5. And again, shares it with the Nissan Micra Electric. We've actually seen the Renault 5 at many motor shows in the last year and even the year before. Again, it's using the same Renault Clio seats and suspension just to keep the cost down. A lot of people may assume it's a rear-wheel drive car because of the Renault Twingo, etc. But no, both the Micra and the Renault 5 are going to be front-wheel drive. so perfect for nipping around the city. It's got the rear concealed door handles on both models as well, much like the Honda E, and I really like the way they've done that. On to number 4, we have the Audi A6 E-Tron. So, an A6 E-Tron, yep, that's right, this is going to be launched possibly later this year, most likely this sort of autumn time is when we're expecting it to be launched. It's going to actually be based on a new platform. So currently we have the MEB platform, the modular electric platform. Now it's going to be on the PPE platform, Volkswagen. No, that is not personal protective equipment. That is the premium platform electric. It's what a lot of newer, larger Volkswagen electric vehicles are going to be based on. This A6 E-Tron is apparently maybe going to be able to cover over 400 miles on a charge. So that's going to open the market for a lot of people. It will be directly competing with the BMW i5 that was earlier on the list. So we are going to be expecting a price tag of easy £60,000 plus, but I'm thinking £65,000, so it'll undercut the BMW slightly. And maybe it'll be like an e-tron GT at a more affordable price tag. In at number 3, we have the MG Cyberster. This is a car that's bringing in a lot of hype for the MG brand, and rightly so. We haven't seen a proper electric roadster unless you count the Tesla Roadster, but that was obviously on a Lotus, and they are going to bring a Tesla Roadster out. But personally me, I don't really like the Tesla brand, so this is a bit more exciting to me. Pricing is going to cost from around £55,000. So it's not a cheap vehicle, not like the MG4 that would make you believe, oh, it's going to be pretty cheap. Not cheap at all. It could be had as a rear-wheel drive car or as an all-wheel drive car. The rear-wheel drive model has got 309 brake horsepower, and the all-wheel drive has got 539 brake horsepower. So pretty quick. It's around 3 seconds 0 to 60. So very quick, 2-seater roadster. Originally they wanted it to be like an electric MGTF, but when they have to put all the batteries and all the power in, they had to make it a bigger vehicle. But it still harks back to MGBs, MGFs, all different cars from the past. Really nice to see that, and it's definitely bringing the identity back in. The whole exterior was designed in the UK, and the interior was designed in the Shanghai offices. We're going to see this arrive properly in summer 2024. Perfect timing. We're going to have the lovely sun. I mean, I'd love to test drive one of them. If anyone from MG is watching, yeah, I'd love to have a go in an MG Cyberster. Crazy, crazy car. Number 2, we've got the Mini Cooper. This is the new Mini, and I made a TikTok about this, and it went kind of a bit crazy. A lot of people weren't happy about the design. Like I say about the Countryman, they're going for a more angular, more BMW-centric design, and that's what they're doing with the Mini hatchback as well. They're actually building the new Mini in conjunction with Great Wall Motors. They're who make the Aura Funky Cat currently. So it's quite an exciting prospect. So that means all future electric Mini Cooper hatches will be built in China. This won't go down well with everyone, but it's not necessarily a bad thing. It keeps manufacturing costs a little bit lower, and obviously being a shared platform with Great Wall Motors, it can only really be a good thing for both of them. The petrol version of the Mini Cooper is also going to be revised, but that will still be built at the Oxford plant. So that's going to stay UK born and bred. You heard that right. The petrol variants of the Mini and the electric are actually going to be on different platforms, but they're going to follow a very similar design language. I'm going to be quite interested to see how that pans out and how they work around that and make them different. And nice, like Great Wall Motors, that's a nice little partnership there. It's called Spotlight, this new project. But of course, it's still a Mini. People are forgetting that, and people weren't loving it. But to me, personally, I mean, it does look a little different, but you can still tell it's a Mini. There's no denying that it's a Mini. This is the one that you've all been waiting for. Number 1 on the list car, coming very soon. That is the Volkswagen Passat. Yet, the Passat is coming back for a full new generation, the Mark 9. That will be launched at the end of August this year, and we'll start to see them in the first quarter and second quarter of 2024. In different powertrains, ETSI, which is your mild hybrid, you've got the e-hybrid, which is plug-in, normal TSI engines, and then we will probably most likely also have the TDI in the UK as well. Why is it so exciting that there's another Passat? Well, it just shows that there's demand for this state cars. It is a state, not a saloon, by the way. We've got a 15-inch screen in there, which looks massive, but luckily on lower trim models, that's not there, and on some models, it's an optional extra. But 15-inch screen on the preview pics looks a bit massive. You do also have touch-sensitive controls on the steering wheel on one of the preview pics. It's recently been having its last test drives with the Volkswagen Tiguan as well, which is also going to have a brand new model coming out very shortly. It had this sort of camouflage going on. Maybe that's hinting to the colours that it's going to come in, because I think it looks quite cool in that purple colour. Not long now, Volkswagen is literally on fire with their launches and new cars and innovation, always stepping up. It's incredible. That is my roundup of exciting vehicles coming very soon. What do you think? What is your favourite car that is upcoming? Do let me know in the comments down below. I'll be really interested to hear your thoughts on each vehicle, so let me know. If you do like this sort of content, do hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you're notified when I make a new video. Most of my videos are generally new car reviews where I'll do a walk around video or even test drive the vehicle as well. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching.